There is something profoundly humane and beautiful. You know, when you take everything away, what is life about? Is it just about surviving, as is the case for these two characters? Is it just finding food, trying to keep others from taking your food and your lives away? Or is there something else? Is it okay?
Okay.
It's a journey, it's a kind of parable. I think it's also a morality tale. But primarily for me, it's a love story between a father and son.
An apocalyptic world is bleak, but still the emotional core of the piece was so fresh and so powerful. The passing of the idea of humanity from one to the other and the other back again. And the need to survive in an extremely hostile world.
Quick, get up. It's a story that's very immediate, that demands a lot emotionally from the two main characters.
How do they preserve their humanity when they're chased and thieves rob them and there are people in dire straits all around them? There's no reason why anybody should be hopeful, and yet somehow they manage to cultivate some humanity against all the odds.
Keep your head down! Not many good guys left, that's all. You have to watch out for the bad guys. You have to just keep carrying the fire.
What fire?
Fire inside you.
The story relates on so many levels, and for me it was really that shining fire that he talks about, carrying the fire, that to me just represented the good in humanity that is there. It's just, we sometimes don't choose it, you know?
I was lucky to be able to get a hold of Cormac McCarthy. We talked about my son and his son. And after I hung up, I realized I really hadn't asked him any of the questions about the book. And I thought, well, you know, maybe I don't need to.
The book is a love letter to America, the America that's disappearing. He writes with such incredible pared down clarity, you know. There's only ever a writer like that once every few decades, you know. Hemingway, Carver, Faulkner, and he's in the pantheon of those great American writers.
You know, he's written books that deal with very brutal subject matter sometimes, you know, like No Country for Old Men. But he's a very tender-hearted person, and this book was dedicated to his son.
That was amazing to see him with his son and realize that's where it all comes from. You know, his son actually calling him Papa and having the same sort of conversations. And, you know, he's quite open that a lot of those conversations actually come from him and his kid.
I mean, there's a reason why this book was so popular. It's the book that has reached more people around the world and meant more in all cultures, because anybody in any culture can understand the concern that a father has for his child.
The magic of the book is the situation. It hasn't got a complicated plot. It doesn't motor on plot or story. It's a bunch of propositions, really, which you have to kind of be convinced by. This situation of the near future where everything's ended and all the food's gone and their neighbours have been kept in the basement as a food supply and mother's committed suicide, and not shy away from that. It couldn't be a kind of random, generalised, non-specific father and son love affair. It had to be contextualised with kind of rigorous specificity, and we couldn't sort of back away from that, because only then would the true poignancy of it really resonate with kind of jaw-dropping power, you know.
This book really came into my life at a time where I really needed somebody to kind of show me the good in humanity. And I'm really grateful for Cormac.
There's something about Viggo's face. It's so full of power and emotion and intensity.
Just to watch him stay in that painful state of mind for such long periods of time, it was really humbling to watch as an actor.
He immersed himself in that environment. He would step out into the rain and he would sleep in his clothes and he would be thrown out of places for being some homeless guy, and you know, the dust would just be embedded into him, and then he was starving himself on top of everything else.
He is so dedicated as an actor. He really is, and I think that for him it's really important to carry the integrity that he really wanted this man to come across with, and I think he's fantastic in this movie.
What's on the other side?
Nothing.
The chemistry between him and the boy is so good that you cannot take your eyes off them. You can't wait to see what happens next with them.
Very good.
Can we do another?
No, that's good. Do you want one?
Are you gonna do coverage?
Yeah.
First rehearsal that we did, I saw that Charlize was committed 100%, and it was guaranteed by her playing it that she was going to go to an emotional level, the way the story required.
She's someone that has already shown incredible range, and she is one of those actresses that really is able to transform and go to real emotional depths.
When we started talking about me playing this role, John said, there's something that happens when a woman gives birth that's just so primal, and I just don't know if you'll be able to do that. So I'm gonna go and record real labor screams, and I'm going to sound mix it in over your scene. And I went, what? That day was challenging on my voice, definitely, but I did it, and it's all me, and I'm very proud of myself. I still, till today, if I get excited or I scream or I talk a lot, I lose my voice, and I used to never have that. So I completely like busted a vocal cord just to prove him wrong.
I'm so excited. This is a fun scene. Ooh.
The thing that I was most concerned about over anything was how we could possibly get a boy to go through what that boy goes through and make it convincing.
Action.
He's gonna die.
You die anyway.
He's so scared.
I'm scared.
Kodi is a tremendously talented actor with this incredible ability to feel real things and not manufacture them. That's so pure that I think for both Viggo and I it was really great as actors to be around that.
You're not the one who has to worry about everything. What? What'd you say?
Yes, I am! I am the one!
Kodi, I think, was a great teacher for both of us.
I have to say I was afraid that they wouldn't find a boy that would be up to it. It's a lot to ask to have a boy be able to read this book, understand this story, and then go there emotionally.
What
There's a boy, Papa! Look!
But by going through some of these really difficult emotional scenes early in the movie, in this harsh climate, it pulled us together in a way that I don't think I've ever come together with an acting partner in that way. You know, he's a kid from Australia, although you'd never know it. You know, listening to the way he speaks, he sounds like an American boy.
And, okay, around there. How far can I go?
Edge of frame.
About there?
Is that right?
Yes.
Edge of frame.
He is an extraordinary kid, and working in those conditions was tough. You know, Kodi's an Aussie. You know, we're not used to cold and grey skies and all that. There was a moment that I'll never forget. He was having his hair washed in a stream.
It's freezing, and also it was snowing. I did it once. They said they were going to get it in 2 takes, and I went in the second time. That was the deal. And then they didn't get it because the sun accidentally came in. So I had to do it one more time.
He was cold and wet, and I didn't know this, that he was so cold and wet. And he started to cry for real, and I was thinking, oh shit, we better cut. And then I realized just before stopping that he was playing the scene even though he was really crying.
Stop crying.
And Viggo kept going.
We gotta go now.
And he played the whole scene all the way through.
When you do stuff and it comes out naturally, things just happen. And you say stuff that you don't really mean to say, and it works. It was good.
Got to work with Robert Duvall. That in itself is like a beautiful little movie. He did something really beautiful that only he could have come up with and played in such a sincere and moving way.
I had a boy one time of my own.
That wasn't in the script. That was just like another gift that happened. Had they not done that one more take that night when everybody was tired, we wouldn't have gotten that.
What happened to your son? I can't talk about it. Not with you, anyway.
I'm really thrilled with the variety of different characters we've managed to get. Michael K. Williams, his performance and his abilities was really special, and he was so fearless about what he has to do in that scene.
I can come with you.
Yes, you can.
And Guy Pearce, just such an amazing multi-dimensional actor that can do anything.
Okay. Roll sound. And marks on B. And action.
John has tremendous passion for whatever it is he's doing, and he really, truly throws himself 100% into it.
He sits up, Cody's here. I've just walked across here.
There's a dedication with him that's on the cusp of being obsessive to the point where you realize that he has thought of everything way more than once, and will probably keep thinking about it until probably after you've done it. He has a real urge and a real hunger to have his characters in his story be as authentic as possible, and so I have great respect for that.
And the background there.
As a director, John had a very clear idea of what this world was going to look like. It was truly a very well-designed movie. The fact that he chose to shoot in real places rather than going in a studio and then with computers later making it look like it was a harsh environment helped us a lot as actors. And the places geographically that John chose were key.
We chose all the bleakest places, and then we just filmed them.
We were looking at man-made disasters and a combination of environmental disasters like Katrina and Mount St. Helens. It was inspiring because it was like we could see the world of the book coming alive.
You want to go in?
We were kind of on a mission. We were on a mission from God to tell this unvarnished, unadorned.
I'm hoping that what I've witnessed on a daily basis here, what the circumstances have brought out, what John Hillcoat has managed to get done, if that translates, I can't believe that people won't be as moved as we have been just putting the pieces together.
Did you know that in Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, there is a scene where Aragorn believes that Merry and Pippin have been killed? Furious with himself, he kicks a nearby orc helmet and howls with rage, falling to his knees. As emotional as this is, Viggo Mortensen was channeling real pain into his screen because kicking the orc helmet had broken one of his toes. Like a true professional, Mortensen decided to act through it rather than call cut.